What do you get when a fantasy novel promises a lethal assassin, a brutal competition, and a kingdom suffering under tyranny, yet delivers something much more gentle, introspective, and romantic in focus? We begin with Celaena Sardothien, celebrated assassin, infamous throughout the realm, and currently imprisoned in a salt mine until she's summoned to compete for her freedom. 23 opponents, 1 contract as the king's champion. On paper, this should be a high-stakes crucible, a narrative sharpened by danger and discipline. And, to Mass's credit, she constructs characters with presence. Celaena is dramatic, skilled, proud, emotional, and occasionally compelling to watch even when her choices are uneven. There are intriguing hints of history, of forbidden magic, of a kingdom hiding wounds beneath a polished surface. But the execution doesn't always align with the premise. Throne of Glass repeatedly tells us that Celaena is an unparalleled assassin, yet many of the truly decisive challenges she faces are resolved for her rather than by her. Her reputation often feels more vivid than her demonstrated capabilities, and much of her demonstrated capabilities are far too focused on combat skills for an assassin. Assassins are not warriors. A good assassin would do everything in their power to avoid direct combat. This is not a fatal flaw, but it does create a dissonance between the story that was promised and the story that is actually unfolding. Then we have the competition itself, the narrative engine that you expect to guide the book. Instead of driving the plot with escalating tension, the competition recedes into the background for long stretches, and reappears mainly when the plot requires a reminder that it exists. The book is readable, certainly, but lighter in intensity than one would anticipate. Meanwhile, the romantic plots gain momentum and quickly move closer to center stage. The Crown Prince provoking her, the Captain of the Guards steadfast at her side. These dynamics are serviceable and occasionally charming, but the love triangle occupies far more narrative real estate than any marketing or the fan base led me to believe. This is, functionally, a romance-forward fantasy, even if it's framed as something else. That said, Mass does demonstrate a talent for laying foundations. You can feel the early architecture of a larger saga. Hints of corruption, forbidden magic, ancient horrors beneath the castle. The seeds are there, and many readers adore this book precisely because it feels like a gateway. Accessible, dramatic, easy in tone. For me, though, Throne of Glass lands and stays firmly in, it's fine. Engaging in moments, predictable in others, and consistently readable outside the more eye-roll inducing moments. The character work is solid, even though Celaena's bravado is overwhelming and hollow. She also needs to learn to trash talk, because she is not good at that. And the world has promise, but the tension is softened by the book's desire to highlight romance or muscles beneath shirts and resolve obstacles a little too conveniently. Throne of Glass is a gentle entry point into fantasy. It is not the sharp, brutal assassin narrative that the premise indicates. And for me, that distinction matters. Ultimately, Throne of Glass is the story of a young woman on the cusp of freedom, told with an emphasis on self-discovery and relationships more than bloodshed and brutal competition. If you enjoy romance-inflected fantasy with approachable stakes, then this might be your style. If you're seeking something grittier or more demanding, temper your expectations before stepping into this glass castle. Bye.